this will come as a surprise since I haven't been to the cinema in over 3 years, but I did manage to catch Avatar: The Way of Water recently. And look, I was a sucker, I was in the cinema, I was getting all excited as I used to in the good old days, and I thought of all the people that could have come up with something great, it would have to be James Cameron. Now, how should I put this? I'll start with the good parts. If you can think of like the absolute top tier, like Hollywood visual effects execution, like right at the top, double it for this film because it's truly stunning to look at visually, and obviously the audio visual combined. So I'd actually argue that there's probably a case to pay for an IMAX ticket to go see it and just experience the visuals of it, because there's something that he did there that was actually kind of quite good, because he takes it to a level of detail that just other directors don't bother, because he's spending 10 years refining every single little shot in there or whatever. But for me, I just like, some of the action was good, but I'm just perplexed by how people think that this was just absolutely amazing when, like, the story, I don't know how he managed to do it, but it is a little bit more original than the first one, but it's somehow less interesting. And on top of that, it was just like this rambly, long-winded script that went nowhere in a few places. There was like 45 minutes of Pandora porn where it was just, oh wow, doesn't this look great? And all I was doing was I was like looking at the watch going, all right, we can move it along, guys. Let's get going with this. And it just it felt like an undisciplined script. That was the bit that blew my mind, because this is James Cameron. Like, I'm not saying that he necessarily comes up with the most original scripts, but the man knows how to execute a script, even if it's not terribly original. And I just was wondering, it's wandering all over the place. The dialogue's terrible. There's and I guess all modern films are guilty of this. There was the scenes that were put in there that have no reason to be in there other than to set up sequels. And to me, the capper on top of it at the end was that something happens at the end of the film that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. No one in their right mind would do what this character does. I'm amazed that Cameron allowed it, because it's completely illogical, and the only reason for it was to keep the villain alive at the end so he can be in the next film. And that's the bit and that's kind of how I kind of feel about the whole film in general. It just I was really wanting to like it, because I thought, look, if it's gonna be anyone, it's gonna be him that pulls it. But no, the stakes were, I thought, lower than the earlier film. So it felt smaller, even though it's supposed to be this gargantuan film. And then I guess before we get in, we'll probably get into this a little bit later, but the thing that blows my mind still is it's the third highest grossing film of all time, and there is this reaction that it's the most amazing thing people have ever seen. And I'm like, well, I could agree on the visuals that they're outstanding, and maybe I'm a bit old school with this, but if the story ain't good, or the story isn't well done, or it's the script isn't good and the characterization isn't good, I really couldn't care less about the visuals, because it just fell flat. And I knew when that was happening, I was about an hour in, and almost unconsciously, my hand I started doing this, and then I was like, nah, this just isn't working. So I don't know. I mean, that's probably not surprising from your perspective, I'm sure, because it's kind of in line with everything we've been talking about with movies up until this point. It's just that it seems to have hit James Cameron as well.
Yeah, look, I really don't know what to say. From your description, it sounds exactly like going to the IMAX to see the original Avatar, I don't know, 15 years ago or whenever it was. So, I guess, what can I say? I learnt from seeing the Alien prequel that just because you've got a great director, you might get a very dud product, and there was a lot of illogical and things that didn't even match up with the original Alien in that. But getting back to this, you wonder now, maybe the studios really do dictate to the directors that they should put in that extra 45 minutes of visuals. And maybe now we've got an audience that just pays to go to the cinema, and a bad experience is as good as a good one.
Or maybe they don't care.
I can't explain it otherwise.
Or maybe they don't care. Like, as long as you're getting those little hits, those dopamine hits, I guess maybe that's enough. You know, like you think you're seeing something great when you're actually not, because you're not actually intellectually engaging with the thing. It's just it's an experience that you're sitting through, kind of thing.
Well, if you would equate that with social media, which is probably where most of the, publicity is pitched, and, the great reviews all appear on social media. I saw the film, it was fantastic, and if you get 40 posts like that, you'll probably go there and think it's fantastic too, even if you didn't enjoy it. I do wonder whether our attention spans are so short that maybe you're right. Maybe you go there and you see 4 or 5 things in the film and that satisfies you, and the story is very secondary to that. I get it, amazing visuals. That's why we like fireworks. But geez, I wouldn't pay, $20 to sit there for 3 hours to watch the same fireworks over and over.
Mm. And the cynic in me was wondering whether, because, James Cameron's an intelligent guy, I just wonder if he knows this as well. And to him, it just, I'll just do whatever, and I don't have to be as tight as I normally am with these things.
Ben, he couldn't not know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Unless he never actually watched the film. Maybe he just, shot it.
Yeah, and the AI edited it for him or something.
Yeah, and just left it. Well, maybe it means there'll be an Avatar Way of the Water director's cut somewhere down the track.
Can you imagine a 4-hour version of this thing? Oh, yeah.
A 4-hour version that makes sense. I don't know.
One last thing on this, and I won't labour the point, but the one where I have seen some criticism when it's minor, you don't see too much of it out there, at least from what I can tell, at least from in mainstream wise, is that there was a comparison made to George Lucas actually with this, in the sense that it's a little bit like the Star Wars prequels, that maybe nobody's saying no to him anymore, that he's God, he knows he's untouchable, he's had the 2 top grossing films ever. Now he's got the 3rd, and don't say no to him. Whereas he might have listened to maybe some feedback before or something like that to tighten things up or make it better. And maybe he's just in a place now where it's all yes men.
That sounds to me like studio talk for them hiding the fact that they screwed up the film and they want to shift it his way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess I'll be blacklisted now. No Oscar for me.
No worries. But I guess we can revisit this in 2 years' time when Avatar 3 comes out.
God, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll psych myself up for the next 2 years and go and see that sequel.
Apparently it's coming to Disney Plus soon, this second one. So I don't know, maybe you can just stream it for free and then not get 3 hours of your life back. There you go.
At least on Disney Plus I can fast forward.
Yeah, that's right.